Welcome to Crossroads Magazine. I'm Father John Gatzak.
And I'm Joan Knapp.
Well, October is Respect Life Month, a time to acknowledge and celebrate the sacredness of all human life. But first, we bring you out to East Haddam to visit the castle once owned by the noted actor, director, and playwright William Gillette.
Now owned by the state of Connecticut, Gillette Castle Park is a great way to spend a fall day wandering around the 184 acres estate full of walking trails, picnic areas, and of course, history.
Crossroads reporter Adam Prue visited East Haddam for the unveiling of an important piece of the castle's history.
What's brought this crowd out to Gillette Castle? Well, it's to catch a glimpse of William Gillette's electric train, restored and revamped for the public to enjoy, to remember, and to commemorate. A piece of history which nearly faded away, but never died.
I feel safe in saying something on behalf of William Gillette. He was a little bit of a unique person, and at times so am I. But I think that he would be incredibly proud of just this beautiful restoration. And I think it does indeed show the commitment of this state to maintaining its parks and to maintaining the history of this state, which we so cherish and we want to pass on to every generation to come.
The train's unveiling comes after a long period of uncertainty about the locomotive, which was in pieces at lake compounds from 1943, the year of Gillette's death, to the mid-1990s, when it was donated back to the state with the intention of restoration.
So it's really very nice and touching that this little piece of history is finally back where it belongs. It's all spick and polish and chrome and brass, and that is a really good thing.
The restoration process wasn't an easy one, though, and it took the cooperation of many to complete the project.
There are groups of people, very important groups of people who love our state parks. And on occasion they get together, they call themselves the Friends of State Parks. And the Friends of our state parks have been able to do amazing things.
It was the Friends of Gillette State Park who helped launch the train's restoration. And it was the president of the Friends of Gillette, Judy Glover, who raised $10,000 and found a volunteering restoration expert.
I approached Ted Tyne 10 years ago. I'd heard about his reputation restoring cars and motorcycles, and he was highly recommended. And I went to see him and told him we were nonprofit, and he said he'd be very gentle and he'd try to do the best he could for us.
I told him they were nuts. I says, we don't do trains. Trains are that's impossible. But you know, persistence, you know, like a child, the more you persist, the more you resist. Well, finally, I just threw the towel, and it was easier just to go with the flow than try to paddle upriver. And everybody's glad we did it.
Between Judy's persistence and Ted's love of a challenge, the project finally came to fruition. But there were bumps along the way, starting from the beginning of the restoration back in the mid-90s.
And we started on it 9 years ago, and because there were some deaths and just different things happened, and governors left, and you know, the usual political stuff, and you know, it sat, and people just, nobody paid attention to it. And then one day somebody said, hey, what about the train? You know, let's do it. So actually we finished this train. It probably took us a year and 3 months.
Working on weekends, holidays, and sometimes even missing work, Ted and a rotating crew of 5 to 9 guys worked tirelessly to finish the volunteer project. They extensively researched trains and even used archives photos of Gillette's train to help them with the restoration process.
We started with sandblasting, fabricating, new panels and major repairs that would enable us to get to the task of powder coating everything from the frame to the smallest components. All the woodwork had to be remanufactured and restored, and was done by George Haig, the state's master wood craftsman. All of the missing accessories now had to be obtained.
And whatever they didn't have that wasn't original, they were able to duplicate. And we had a lot of generous donors. The gauges, the whistles, oh, well, you'll see them in a minute, were donated from different people. So he worked with very little and came up with this. They added a couple of little extra bells and whistles.
The hard work and determination of everyone involved culminated in the unveiling ceremony held for the public to see at Gillette Castle State Park, the train's original home.
All the bells and whistles are there, so to speak. It's very beautiful. It's freshly minted. Yeah, couldn't ask for more. I'm a bit of a rail enthusiast myself, so I thought I'd come down and see it. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks to the enthusiasm and
Judy,
spirit of the Friends of Gillette State Park and Judy Glover, and the hard work and grit of Ted Tyne and his crew, a piece of history was not only salvaged, but completely restored to perfection. And now, new generations of children and adults alike can gaze into the past and enjoy a unique piece of history.
Pretty self-gratifying. I mean, to immortalize a piece of history, you know, as famous as this, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's great because we're going to have generations to come with children that'll be able to view this and people from all over the world. Pretty impressive.
From East Haddam, I'm Adam Prue, reporting for Crossroads Magazine.
Gillette liked to entertain his guests with rides around the estate on his 3-mile-long narrow-gauge railroad.
Well, that's right. People like Albert Einstein, the actress Helen Hayes, and even President Calvin Coolidge were escorted around the castle in the electric locomotive.
In the future, the Friends of the Gillette Castle State Park hope to restore a second steamed power locomotive, which also ran along the tracks of the estate.
Now, when Crossroads continues, we get serenaded by the smooth voice of a famous priest musician. Stay with us.